women have been arrested by the CBI for Manipur duo's killings. Before I read how it has been covered in the Times of India, I want to just give our viewers a bit of background. So basically what had happened is that 2 students had gone missing in the month of July, and their parents were hoping for their safe return. They in fact were coming back from tuition. They belonged to the Meitei community, and they seem to have accidentally stepped into the Kuki territory, and that is when they were allegedly murdered by the Kuki in fact terrorists. Now do remember that this is the cause of fresh unrest in this tiny northeastern state of India, Manipur. I'm just going to quickly take a look at how it has been covered in the Times of India. It says that the CBI took into custody 4 people, including the wife of the main accused and another woman, and detained 2 minors in fact the in Churachandpur area on Sunday for the disappearance and suspected killing of 2 students from Imphal. These 4 people have been identified as Paominlun Baite Kuki, and there are other names also, as Malsawm and Henthang. These are the 4 people who have been arrested. Now they were taken to Guwahati, where they will be produced before a court, and the 2 children who accompanied the adults were handed over to District Child Protection Officer in Guwahati. The disappearance of 17-year-old girl Hijam and 20-year-old Fijam of Imphal West District triggered massive protests in Imphal Valley this week after images of 2 bodies purportedly belonging to the 2 students appeared on social media. There in fact on your screens visuals coming in from Manipur. In fact the video, the photograph of their bodies went viral on social media, prompting these people, especially the students, to stage a massive protest in various parts of Manipur. There right on your screens another protest being held in fact Manipur. Adrika, what's surprising here is that 2 women also are allegedly involved in the killing of these 2 innocent students who were 17 and 20 years old. The question is, what was their fault, and how far are you willing to really, take this conflict, and at what cost?
As much as you dive into the as much as you dive into the details of how this how the entire killings were executed, I'm just going to read this detail that says the mobile phones of both of these teens were switched off 18 kilometers apart from the destination where they were killed. So I think more than realizing the intensity of the violence that has been going around in Manipur for so long, we have to understand the nature of this violence as well, because things are going bad in a planned way. Switching off somebody's mobile phone because you're planning a murder 18 kilometers before you execute the entire thing. And on News9 Live we have been covering Manipur very closely. We've been tracking whatever has been happening, and we have talked about the role of women that have come forward in the entire ethnic clashes of Manipur that you do not, Neha, normally see in ethnic clashes normally. We saw how women, how Arambai Tengols and Meera Paibis, they stepped up when CM Biren Singh was about to resign. They fully staged a protest and they were like, don't leave, Biren Singh is like our son and you have to protect us. So it's really, at some point it's really great seeing women standing up for the rights and trying to restore the situation, which does not seem anywhere close to restoration. But yes, this is very disheartening how innocent lives, and like we say, whenever there's war, women and children are the most badly struck. And day by day we see and hear headlines about Manipur wherein children are losing their lives, and schools have been shut down. There's no sign of restoration. So I don't know where is the solution. We could sit down and discuss about this for hours and hours.
Well, I did speak about it in our previous bulletins also, in our previous shows also. The solution can never come from outside. Solution has to come from within, from these 2 communities sitting together. As I said that, how far are you really willing to take this conflict? At what cost? Have you not seen enough bloodshed already? Have over 150 people have lost their lives. Over 3,000 people have been injured. People have lost their homes. So for how how long are you really willing to take this conflict?
And for every passing day that the violence, kind of persists in Manipur, it is also going to, leave behind itself lifelong traumas for those who survive. We talk about the death toll and we talk about the casualties that have been caused in Manipur, but we also have to talk about the victims that are going to survive and the kind of trauma that is going to be inflicted on them for their entire lives. And as I was reading the Hindustan Times, there is a fact written there that this case, this registration of this case is now over more than, this case marks 117th case in which women and children are involved at the center. So that means there have been repeated times wherein, we see the role of women at the forefront. Women sometimes leading at the front to restore peace. Now here we see, women being the main, accused of the entire killings that are happening. So Manipur in itself is in a very confused situation. I mean, every time I read something contradictory, something very contrasting, so even I don't know what to make of it. All I can say is it is very disheartening that a state so rich in its culture, a state that was,
so beautiful, so beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, it is so small yet so picturesque, so pretty, and look at what has been happening. Look at these visuals. It's been over 3 months since this ethnic conflict broke out between the Meiteis and the communities. There is, of course, one cannot take away this fact that it is a bordering state, and you have to be really conscious and really careful while walking on this path. But also the fact that what has the state government been doing? Are you trying to tell me that there is no solution to this conflict?
I think there is no such conflict that does not have a solution.
Exactly my point.
The fact that a conflict could, start up, the fact that there was a conflict that fled up, that means there was a prerequisite already. There were problems before that were supposed to be solved. There were problems that were overlooked. And I think that led to the entire conflict that fled up.
Of course.
So if things were taken care firstly, I don't think it could have, escalated that much. And I mean, no crying about the spoiled milk.
See, conflicts happen. When it's not, conflicts always happen. But then it's been 3 months now, and it needs to stop. And there, of course, as I was mentioning, that Manipur is a bordering state. So Biren Singh also, said that he is alleging foreign conspiracy in the unrest. He's basically, a day after the National Investigation Agency said that it came across a transitional conspiracy behind the ethnic strife. Manipur Chief Minister said that 5-month-long violence is a war against the Indian Union by Myanmar and Bangladesh-based Kuki militants jointly with militant groups operating in the state. I'm just going to quickly, in fact, quote him, what he spoke with the reporters, what he told reporters. He said that the current crisis in Manipur is not a clash between ethnic groups and not a law and order issue of the state, but purely a war against the Indian Union by Myanmar and Bangladesh-based Kuki militants in collaboration with militant groups operating in Manipur.
ये जो मणिपुर में हो रहा है ये घटना ये waging war against the Indian Union by the Kuki militant from Myanmar base and Bangladesh base along with some militant from India. तो it clearly shows, इसने सबको दिखा दिया है कि ये कोई मामूली चीज नहीं है. तो इसलिए हम NIA को और भारत सरकार को बहुत बहुत हम धन्यवाद करता हूँ. खास करके मणिपुर के पब्लिक लोग और भारत का पब्लिक लोग ने जो ये सच्चाई को लाने के लिए 3-4 महीना लगा के कई तरह तरह का मीडिया कवरेज दे के रिपोर्ट दे के सबको ये समझने का लाइन में आया है. इसीलिए हम सबको बधाई करता हूँ, सबको थैंक्स. और खास करके ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी और ऑनरेबल यूनियन अमित शाह जी खास करके ये स्टेटस में लाने के लिए हम बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. NIA की तरफ से एक केस के लिए जो कोकटा में बॉम्ब ब्लास्ट हुआ था उसी में इसे एक पकड़ लिया उसको हम दिल्ली ले गया. और आज एक ब्रेक थ्रू हुआ है जो जहाँ में जो एक दो स्टूडेंट एक लड़की और एक लड़का को जो हाइनेस क्राइम उसको मर्डर किया था पकड़ने के बाद में उसको हम लोग ने अभी तक नहीं पकड़ सका था. लेकिन कल परसों से ऑनरेबल यूनियन होम मिनिस्टर अमित शाह जी ने वो एक CBI का स्पेशल डायरेक्टर को along with 5 से सीनियर ऑफिसर यहाँ भेज के कैम करके रखा है और कैम करने के बाद में with the support of the Indian Army और paramilitary forces, असम राइफल्स और स्टेट पुलिस कंबाइंड टीम करके आज 4 एक्यूज पकड़ लिया है और ये बहुत बड़ा अचीवमेंट है। तो ये हैंगलेप एरिया चुरचांदपुर से पकड़ लिया है। इसीलिए हम NIA, CBI और सारे सेंट्रल पैरामिलिट्री फोर्सेस इंक्लूडिंग इंडियन आर्मी एंड असम राइफल